but pretty much the truth. Hello, everybody. We're live. Whoop, whoop. It's Beth Edgman with the Crafty Edge and
Stephanie Reeves with the Plaster Paint Company.
Whoop, whoop. We are doing our collab Tuesdays. I have 5 collab. Well, Tuesdays at 5:03 collab today. So we are trying something new. We're on Stephanie's computer, so we're going to check, make sure that we're on all the pages that we need to be on. We are.
Okay.
So
monthly protection.
Yes. We just want to make sure it's not staticky like it was.
It sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Okay,
trying
good.
to make sure that it is just not so noisy and staticky. We did want to talk about a few things. Hi, everybody. I see names.
Yay,
Kevin. Hello,
start.
Sandra, Sandy, Jesse, Tracy. Hello.
Start with their version of Chippy.
Okay.
And then that way we can get that.
Okay. So I asked y'all what y'all are interested in learning about, and some people said some Chippy. Y'all wanted to learn about Chippy, so we need y'all to talk to us about what kind of Chippy you're talking about. So, like, there's vintage Chippy that you only get if you buy vintage and it's Chippy.
It's been sitting out
Or
in the heat and the
there's
wind and the rain.
Furniture that you can take back and make it look a little more old and a little more rough, but it's not going to have that specific peeled up paint kind of vibe, right?
No.
So we're willing to talk about those things. We also are very interested in knowing what you want to see every week. This is a weekly collab, guys. We're going to be here. Stephanie wants to teach us about our paint line, which is Plaster Paint Company. This is the paint that I use, and I use nothing else. There's all kinds of things that this paint can do. So we're really wanting to dive deep into this and really learn the specifics of this paint. And so don't be afraid to ask us for techniques, things that you want to see Stephanie teach us, because that's why she's here every week. So talk to us about the Chippy. And while we're waiting on y'all to kind of give us some feedback, we're going to go over a few more of the products that we didn't maybe get to last week.
Yeah, I know. We had a few questions about gel stain. So again, gel stain is the one you want to definitely do in a well-ventilated area. You could actually gel stain, like this is half painted and half not painted, but you could gel stain this. This is just that 80s oak, right? 80s oak. You would just want to get the sheen off, and then you could gel stain it to be a darker color. It does take a couple days, depending on how thick you put it on, which you're better off to put a thin coat and put another coat after it dries, but it will take a few days. The table that I did here, which we can move out, I had to sand it down. It'd seen probably its last leg. It had seen its last leg. And it was can you see it?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to see it. Maybe.
Let's see. Let me see if I can,
You want to lift it up to the table?
Let's just lift it up. So I had to sand it, and it's still, not perfect, but I had to get some of that wavy. It had some water damage on the back, but it had this cool design in it that is inlaid. That wood was inlaid in, and so I was like, gosh, I can't paint it. I just can't. There's certain things I can't paint. So I did sand it down because it had some water damage and some other stuff. And then all I did was rag on. I used the modern walnut for this one, which is this one right here. So this was just a piece of wood, 1 coat of modern walnut, 2 coats. So we can see kind of the difference. The 1 coat it's lighter.
And this is sand. You have to sand this.
Right. This was just bare wood. You can, again, go right over this light oak, just get the gloss off, and then you can just go right over it. And it will change this to whatever color you want it to be. You can change it to the black. The number 1 color is the royal dark walnut. It's
That's
just that
beautiful.
really
that
dark
color.
walnut.
So that's 2 coats or 1 coat that you're showing.
So 1 coat
Whoa.
That's beautiful.
and then 2 coats.
So this would be something good if you're going to like sand your cabinets down and you wanted to just restain them.
But you don't have to sand them all the way to bare wood. You don't have to with the gel stain. You can just get that shiny junk. Because see, like where it's even wore off here, I could just put it right on top of that.
And it would just take.
Because a gel stain is a gel. It's not, you know how most stains when you shake them, you can hear a little bit. But they're just like water. These are not. They are. I can open one.
They have more to them than just. They're not like a liquid.
Somebody had said vintage chippy paint.
Well, vintage chippy you have to buy that's been outside or whatever. You can't just create that look.
There, I mean, not that I know of it. I mean, and my whole thing is, do you really want that to be falling off in your house, like that chippy lead paint, to be falling off on your house? So this one hasn't been stirred up, but it is definitely jelly. It's more like a. I don't want to stick my finger in it because I will have it on me for the rest of the day. I always wear gloves.
Another glove up there.
Yeah. There's usually gloves everywhere. It depends on where I take them off. Land. But it is just like more like a gel. And if I had some bare wood.
Says, do you have to seal the gel stain?
Yes. She said yes.
So here's a shim. A shim.
Yeah.
Ever need a shim? So basically, if I had a rag, I rag mine on.
Look at that. Instant.
God, that's pretty.
Instant.
And what color is that?
This is the darkest one. This is the modern dark walnut. And it just gives you that really, like a lot of people use this if you're going to paint the piece and they want the top, they use this dark color on the top.
And so you put it on and then you just leave it. You don't have to wipe it off.
Nope. You don't want it. You wouldn't want it to pool, but you'd really want it to dry. I don't want that to get on anybody. You want it to be a really good dry. So I did put this one on last night. And again, with water-based stains, not water-based, gel-based stains and water-based sealers, you definitely need this to give yourself a really, really good dry. You need to, I'm trying to get in the camera. I'll get better at this one day, everyone. You just need a good dry because oil and water, just like we know, don't mix.
Yeah.
So as long as it's got a really good dry, you can use a water-based sealer on it.
Okay.
They do sell oil-based sealers, but again, I don't really like them that well.
Karen says, I am doing a dining room table. That sounds like the ticket.
Yeah.
You just want to get that shine, just kind of rough up and get that shine off of there.
What size do these come in?
The 16, that thing will last you, I bet
It'll go. So she could do a dining room table with it?
Yes, and have extra.
Okay.
Also, somebody says, is there a blue gel stain?
There is not a blue gel stain. I have in the water-based stains, we don't have blue, but we have, what would make blue? You could do red and I don't think we have anything that would make a blue, but we have, so your water-based stains you have to do on bare wood, but they come in all sorts of colors, like turquoise and pumpkin and cherry.
And then maybe a blue too could go on there. Right on there if there ain't nothing on it.
Or it's pumpkin, cherry, cocoa, ash, ebony. But on these, let me show you with these. But these are water-based. So again, if you get them on your hands, you're just going to wash your hands right back off. And they're thin, so and not like a gel stain. Gel stains originated when they had put all of those metal doors in everyone's houses. But they wanted a wood look. And so to get that wood look, you can take a gel stain and put it on top. Like I could take this gel stain and put it on top of this dresser that's painted. And it will dry. It'll give you that kind of that wood look without actually being
like that.
Like it's metal.
Right.
So this is the turquoise, and I'm using a paper towel because, that's what I got. I wouldn't use
paper towel up in here, peeps.
I wouldn't use paper towel, but I would use something else. So again, this is just another shim, but these are super fun. Like if you're doing a dresser, but again, they has to be bare wood. Has to be you have to sand it down, and they have to be.
That's pretty.
They have to be sealed also because they're water based.
Okay.
But super easy to apply. Again, your water-based stains, literally, there's no smell.
Yeah, no smell.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
Your gel
no
stains,
smell.
not so much. They are a little stinky.
Okay, guys, keep those questions coming. Make sure you're following Stephanie at the Plaster Paint Company. You're following the Crafty Edge. We're almost to 16,000. Make sure you are on our YouTubes and Instagrams and all the things. We are on SteamYard because that streams everything to all our places we need it to go.
I think when you guys are talking chippy, are you guys talking like this, but not actually the paint falling off?
Is that what your chippy is? Is that what y'all are thinking for chippy, peeps?
Come on.
So, I mean, to me, this is how I got this thing. But this is just I would say very heavily distressed. So if, let's say we painted it all hot pink, I wouldn't say all of this would be off, but you would go and you could literally distress it. So when I say distressing, you're just taking it back down to the wood.
Said yes.
Okay. But it's not going to chip off, if that makes sense. This one I got this way, but you can distress with a distressing sponge. Like if you just want to do the edges, you would just, hit it just a little bit and get that off. If you want it very heavily distressed, I would use an electric sander. That way, go to your garage, wear your mask. We all have masks now. That's a good thing. And then sand it as far as you want down. With the chalk paint, you can wet distress. So you can use a natural colored sponge, get it damp, and just wet distress because, again, it's water. And then you can rub it hard enough, it's going to come off. So if you're somebody who doesn't like to sand because of the dust and all those things, you can literally wet distress.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I use those natural, you don't want to use the green yellow ones because it will transfer. They're the ones that are just kind of a brown tan. They used to have them just pure white. The only place I've been able to find them is HEB, and we don't have one of those here for just the pure white one. So if I ever drive by one, I'll go and I'll buy like 36. They think I'm crazy, but that's okay. But those or the, I think they're just called natural, and they're just brown. A light brown.
I bet you could find them on Amazon, guys.
Yeah, but
the white ones, they probably are expensive.
But the distressing part, again, you can just do it with your sanding block, depending on how much you want. You can do it with your sander, and that's really going to get you a pretty heavy distress. Or, again, you don't want all that, and you just want a real light distress. You can just wet distress.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. They also said the gel is an oil base.
Yes. It is an oil. That's why if you're going to seal it with a water base, you've got to let it dry.
And it comes with these four colors.
Mm-hmm. But I'll seal this. I was going to do it tonight. I just ran out of time.
Rich
I'll
mahogany,
seal it tomorrow.
Victorian oak, royal dark walnut, and modern walnut.
And your dry time is going to depend on, like, this was basically I had to sand it down. So this was bare wood. Pretty much, not everywhere, but pretty much. So
sanding
wood.
it down did not take out the inlay.
It didn't.
That's amazing.
That's
See, that would
I would have painted it if because it had it had those water.
Yeah.
Because this is a veneer. All that time, 40s and 50s and 60s, they love that veneer. But your dry time and your gel stands are going to vary. So like bare wood, it's soaking in, it's drying. I always put a fan on my gel stains just because. Hey, it gets them to dry faster. But then like if you're going over something like this, it would probably take a good 24, 36.
And that's super important. Dry time is crucial in this process.
Yeah, in this one, yes. Very, very crucial. Very crucial. But another chippy look you can do with the salt wash. So we
use this. Y'all know I love this.
The bottom layer, you do one color with your salt wash, and you can really I used to do exactly, how it says. You can literally make it as thick or thin as you want. If you want a very heavy texture, you just less paint.
And y'all see me do that. It's 1-to-1, but I make it where I want it to be.
If you want less texture, you put more paint. So it's not going to be quite as, they call it like a cake batter. And then you just put it on there. I literally have seen people do it with salt. I don't know how they do it with make this out of their home. With salt and some other stuff, but I'm sure that's on the internet somewhere. It's something we don't sell, but again, I use it. I like the can like this is going to last me a while because I don't use it on every project, but that beachy kind of a look is really
I love it. And it's not a paint, it's a dab, because if you paint it, then you're going to show your paint strokes. But the thing that I want, okay, so you use it in your all the levels of, like, so you say you take a color where this is stain, we're just using, so I say I want this to be my base color. It's an actual chalk. You add your, so then you do this, and then you want this to be on top, so you add this to the chalk too.
Nope.
No.
That just goes right on top. So
okay,
you
so
take
you already
your,
have the texture.
Yeah.
You don't need to add texture to every layer. Is
but
my point.
it's got to dry. I mean, it takes, depending on how thick you put it on, you know, it does take a little bit of time, but that will really give you that chippy two-tone look. I've done it to where I've done 2 different colors on my base layer. So mixed up 2 colors and gone through.
And so you just sand back down to the base.
You just,
in those areas.
Yep. Wherever
Okay.
you want it.
They wanted to know what sealer.
In any of our sealers, the paste wax would work, the liquid wax, the liquid gloss, or your superior top coat. Superior is your hardest, is your gloss.
That's what I used on that bottle I just did with the Mackenzie Child, where that it looked like a piece of corn almost, and it's tall. The superior is what I put on top of that.
You're gonna put it outside?
No, they just wanted it shiny.
Oh yeah.
I did. I decoupaged it with the liquid wax, because of course you know that's like my. It's almost, they think I drink that stuff. The liquid wax, and then I went back over it after it was completely done and sealed it with the superior top coat. Now it wasn't necessary to do that, but I wanted it to be shiny. Now I could have used my glossy liquid wax and could have had probably the same effect. It would not have been maybe as hard of a coat on the outside, but it would have been shiny. So there's many ways to get to the same result.
Like this dresser has liquid wax gloss on it.
Can you tilt that a little bit so they can see it?
I love glossy stuff. Most people like that, but like, so it's a 2-tone. I did semi blush, like diagonal and pure white, and then put a transfer like running down the center.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Of course,
so shiny. Y'all can't probably tell that, but it's super shiny. It's beautiful.
I just I mean, on certain pieces I do like it shiny, and certain pieces I use matte a lot too. I mean,
yeah, it's just a variance. And it's nice to have a mixture. And
then I really say it's your kind of your preference. Like the one step is a satin. And, you know, people always say, well, what if I don't, you know, I want it to be a little less, you know, satiny. You can always put a matte on top. You want it a little more shiny, you can put the gloss on top. The paste wax is going to be more like a satin. If you want to put that on top of your gel stains, you can do that too.
Now, guys, real quick, the Salt Wash is not under the Plaster Paint Company's so when you go, if you're ordering from my link, you're not going to find this in that particular space. You need to go to her Etsy store, and you will find the Salt Wash and her transfers and her IUD.
Oh, no, I don't have IOD. I just have Prima.
Her Prima molds are all on that.
IOD is very
tricky.
Yes. Well, they like the retailers. I mean, to me, a little bit too far away, because for me, I'm not going to drive 50 miles for a deal. I'm just not. And Prima lets them be a little closer. So
Prima is all of that is on the Etsy link. So you can find all these things that we're talking about, just in case.
Those sorts of vintage vibes.
Yes. They wanted to know about, will the gel work for scratches?
If it's I mean, it'll fill into that scratch, but you don't want to get it like onto the other, because you know what I mean? It won't completely dry. Because if you're putting it right on top of a already finished slick product, it's not going to dry. I mean, I guess it eventually would, but if you took like a Q-tip and worked it, I use it for touch up a lot. So if I get a piece in and it's, you know, in big shape, I don't know why he's calling me. Bad shape, then I'll use that.
Feel free to go take it.
See what he wants.
We got a hub.
You just can't you wouldn't want to rub it all over the piece. Right. Does that make sense? But let's say the balls of the feet are really just, that's where, you know, furniture will really wear. You could do that. Put a fan on it, let it dry, and then seal it.
Yeah. We have a lady from the UK.
Oh, hello. Yes.
Hello. Okay, maybe you can, let's see, this one said, What liquid wax is from Plaster paint?
The liquid wax matte and the liquid gloss matte, or it's not matte, gloss is the liquid wax that I use to decoupage with. It's simply my most favorite medium of choice to decoupage with. So it's the liquid. It comes in a gloss and a matte, liquid wax matte. And is it showing up on your page?
No, they're saying the captions are hiding what we're doing. So can we take the captions off of here? I don't know how we got to
figure this out, guys.
I don't know how we got the captions on.
Is it the Plaster paint caption down there, the 101?
Oh, maybe it is. Not the words over here because they shouldn't be able
Like
to see.
This?
Yeah.
I think it's for, is it for that lady that can't?
Oh.
Yeah, because we have a lady that's deaf.
Oh,
can't.
okay.
So, but we can have Brooke stop those.
Well, is it better if I do it at the top of the screens? Because if I hold it low, is that where the words are coming through? Let me see.
We're trying to figure it out, guys.
Ooh, I can't even find myself. Okay, here. So we need to go just a little higher. Like, you know what I mean?
Like this.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to let her talk about this too. But
so this is, we call it Jewel Magic Spray. So this is your liquid wax matte that we have produced in a spray can.
Charlie, can you hold that up to the thing so it's not, because I think the light sometimes it looks, there you go.
No, we can turn one down. It's great for if you're having to do a lot of spindles or something that's real intricate and you just want to be able to just spray on.
A sealer.
Yeah, it's your liquid wax matte in a spray can.
Isn't that so fun? I have that actually.
I mean, I don't use it, I would say every day, but I use it, on certain things when I just want to, spray some.
Get it done.
Yeah, that's the thing that's important about painting too to me is that it's all relative. I mean, every piece is going to call for maybe something a little different. I mean, of course you can use the same stuff over and over, but I'm just thinking it depends on where you're going and what you're trying to actually achieve to the products that you're going to need. And the products are so phenomenal. What was the one from the UK?
She just said, "Hi, ladies. I'm from the UK."
Oh, hello. Welcome. I'm Beth Edgman with the Crafty Edge, and this is Stephanie with Plaster Paint Company. She owns Plaster Paint Company, and we are just doing a weekly collab on trying to get you guys informed on all the products that Stephanie has to offer. This paint is specific to the Crafty Edge. We do nothing else. We only use Plaster Paint Company, and to say that I'm madly in love with this, I use it every single day. Like I pretty much probably have every color that has been made.
Every color.
And I'm not a painter. So I think I really want to stress that I did not start out a painter. I did not start. That was never where I thought this would head. It has taken a complete turn. And when you find a product that is so phenomenal that really speaks for itself, I think it makes a huge difference. And really and truthfully, the turning point for me with the Crafty Edge was the metallics. The metallics are a top notch, like a cut above. I mean, what you get, the how far this paint, the coverage, the durability, the options in color, the flexibility it gives you, the drying time. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on about the benefits to using this paint. And I know a lot of people think, oh, well, I could go to Walmart and get, other paint. And there are good other options out there. Yep. But my point is to this paint, the one thing I do love is that you can get so much out of paint. Stephanie she has 1 ounce little bottles that you can sample colors. You cannot imagine the amount of product and the amount of projects that you can accomplish with just 1 little ounce. It is mind blowing to me. Yeah. So cost effectively, even though you look at that, and you're thinking, I might be spending more. You're really not, because you're getting so much more out of that 6 ounces or that 1 ounce than you would out of 1 ounce of another paint that you might buy at Walmart or Target or someplace like that. So
that's probably the hardest question for me. People always ask me, well, how much paint did it take you to paint this dresser? Or how much paint did it take you to do that? And I'm like, because I use like little squeeze bottles, and I'll just squeeze them onto a plate and do my thing and fill them up once every 6 months. Yeah. We'll have like my dad go through and fill them all up. It drives him crazy. But I had to mix a color for a customer, and it was a 1-to-1 ratio to get like a coral color. And I painted a long 9-drawer dresser, the mirror, and the nightstand, and half of the like vanity. And I went through 1 quart.
Wow.
So, and when I do mine, especially like for customs and anything I take to a show,
She's diligent.
I do front and back. I know that's crazy, and if I mean,
it's really not. They like that.
Yeah,
they like it to be
like
finished.
I really like it.
I'm learning to be that way.
Well, sometimes the backs of a dresser are just
Well, and who's going to see it? But at the end of the day, when you are a professional and you're putting a product out there with your name on it, I think it's important to, you know.
So
if you
a quart
put it somewhere, it might show the back.
And it could. I mean,
You don't
could,
know.
You could
That's
put it
true.
somewhere where it could. Yeah.
That's true.
It's, again, sometimes backs are woo.
So, guys, it's super important that y'all give us ideas on what
Yeah.
you want to see,
They
techniques and
got
things.
tons of questions.
Good.
Okay.
Well, we love the
The
questions. Keep
first
them
one
coming.
is, I'm refinishing a TV trays and want to paint them black. What should I use?
Are they metal or are they wood? The more specific your questions can be, the better off we're going to be.
She needs to know the type of surface.
So if it's just a wood surface that's not slick, you could use the One Step True Black or the black tie plaster paint, which you'd have to seal because it's
Which
a
is the
tray.
chalk.
It's a tray. You want to make sure somebody puts a water cup. If it's metal or really slick, you'd want a new surface, and then again use either of those 2 lines.
And the next question says, what causes some of the pieces that deco one for the podge to turn yellow? That deco thing.
Have you with the liquid wax mat?
Like they
Oh,
use
the
it
tannins?
and it turns that deco
Well,
print.
They've
turns
got.
yellow.
We've got a digital deco designs company that I am an affiliate for, and what happens is that once we print, you print it at home.
Okay.
And I always use, I use ivory lace because I'm not a white girl. So I always use my chalk as my base, because when you're decoupaging, the lighter the base, obviously, the better your surface is going to look. And sometimes when I do that, and then I add my liquid wax matte on top of it, it can turn yellow. And I'm thinking, and it's definitely, Mike can expand on this, but I believe that it's the dyes in the ink.
Mhm.
Someone said you should and I have never done that. I've never let the dye in the ink set for over 24 hours. I usually print it and then do it.
So what do they say when it comes to the like what are the instructions for those? Does it say to hold for 24?
Mm-mm.
Let me check into it. I don't know because I've never used one of those.
We'll bring one next week and we'll try it with her and let her see, and then maybe.
But I bet you
there's some kind of a chemical reaction.
It's the tannins from the ink, because it's a water-based product, and those tannins are kind of like pulling that ink out. But print one a few hours before the show.
Well, it also happened to us with a napkin too, the black and white napkin on that roof of that house. And
was it wood?
That was wood, so it might have been the tannins.
It's the
coming
tannins.
out. But
okay.
so sometimes it's wicker though, but which is
Yeah.
so who knows? But we'll bring some stuff and we'll let her play around with it, and we'll see if we can't figure it out. It may just be. I mean, I feel like there has to be some correlation between the ink and some kind of a chemical.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it may just be one of those things that you just can't. But I can tell y'all, I do napkin after napkin after napkin, and I never have any problems. That one napkin and that
then
whole house
like
was
if I
wood.
tried to put like a decoupage on top of this with that stain, it's gonna
pull it, is
Yep.
what she's saying. So
it's gonna pull it.
it's tricky. And so basically that's where it's really important to know your surfaces and and when you're thrifting, the disadvantage is you don't always know. But I'm
Right.
thinking if I would new surface it before I do it, it might be
Or
better.
on the wood house, if you would have liquid wax to let it dry, like put liquid wax on it, maybe give it, at least I would say overnight, but to let that liquid wax really set that wood.
She doesn't know me very well, does she?
and then put the decoupage on, it wouldn't pull those tannins.
Yeah. So see, that's a thought too, is, and that unfortunately, because I go by the seat of my pants, which this is where she's a planner. I'm not a planner. So this is where it gets kind of tricky. And I give her a lot of anxiety. I do my best work when I'm like flying by the seat of my pants, and she likes to know what to plan. And she did really good today.
I didn't call her till the day before.
She's like, ooh. But the bottom line is that, I'm going to have to probably be more cognitive of that because I thrift, I grab it, I bring it home and we redo it. There's not a lot of thought process. And well, there's really no thought process, to be honest. And I just get a thrift item and I just want to redo with them. And then I just start grabbing stuff and we just do it. So that's just something for us to think about, in the future. And I don't have that problem. I'm telling you, 99% of the time with my liquid wax mat, I have no issue.
So do you just print that on regular paper?
Well, it was the napkin with the wood house, and then
it's
on rice paper.
Oh, you print on rice paper?
So we will bring some next week.
I'm just wondering if it
play around with
quite
it.
Dry enough. You know what I mean? Because any printed rice paper from,
but she sent me one and it did it.
Really?
But again, I'm doing things on thrifted products, so we don't know the story behind that.
That's true.
Basket. Yeah. Was it in a smoker's house? We're not judging smokers, people. Don't send me hate mail. We're just saying that when smoke leaves residue, it just does. It's just a fact. Nobody cares.
Your wood has pores just like anything else when it heats up and when it gets cold. Heats up, gets cold. So whatever's in the atmosphere, whether somebody smoked or
what they cleaned,
they don't like to dust like me.
Or what if they dusted with some or certain product.
Yeah, that's why you gotta get that.
What if they put a stain on that wood that we didn't know was there?
Didn't seal it.
I mean, when I'm going blind in,
because
I don't know.
Was the house like an indoor, like a house they probably had inside the house?
It looked like a little hobbit house. I don't know.
So I bet you it was just they stained it and never sealed it.
Oh, and so and I'm not experienced enough at painting to think she would think those things through because this is her job. I need to start being more diligent on that.
And it's hard.
But now that we know, now that because we all know there ain't no plan.
So do you ship to the UK?
I can. If she sends me a Facebook message and I can tell her how much it would be to ship.
So if you'll message
would you remove that? I think she must have stopped it.
What?
Oh, on Craft Around the Clock. I don't think I meant to put that on there. Will you remove that? Yeah. Remove that destination.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't mean to push that.
Save changes?
Yeah. Let me message her.
So there's one that she said, how about the ombre look with different paints?
We can do that because not all chalk paints are equal, we'll say. Some you can't what I call reactivate with water. So if this was a chalk paint, this hot pink thing in front of me, that thing it's not coming off because I used a a very pure alcohol to clean it, and it didn't touch it at all. Like the paint was it's still there. Oh. So I don't know what kind of paint it was, but with our chalk paint, it reactivates with water. So I paint, if I'm an ombre, I paint a base coat on, and then you start ombreing your colors. But then for me, sometimes I have to let it dry a second, and step back from it and say, okay, it needs a little here, a little there. Then get out my little spray bottle, which my favorite are these like misty ones.
And where do you get those?
I just got mine off Amazon. Mm-hmm. But it just does like a mist.
Yeah.
A mist is spray. It's not like
it's not a stream. It's a mist.
And you can just mist it. You got your little bath there.
I think Brooke said she don't have the Etsy shop, and then everybody's asking about the Etsy shop.
Oh,
so if we can get that.
Send it to her.
Here's another question. I am asking again about the cigar box. I used a one-step and used 4 coats before I could get a good coverage. What can I do?
What color?
I have more to do. She didn't say. What color, Patty?
Because it should take two coats.
Okay, she hasn't said yet.
And then what kind of brush? Those would be my questions. Okay. What kind of brush?
What kind of brush and what kind of paint?
Or
the kind of color?
Color.
The color of paint.
Reds are hard. Blacks are hard.
Lace.
Whites are hard. Those lighter colors, whites and laces are harder, but it shouldn't take you more than 2 coats. What kind of brush?
What kind of brush are you using, Patty?
I'm trying to find the Etsy on. I've sent it to. Let me find it.
While she's typing, I'm going to read Carol's.
Okay.
Carol Work said, If the surface is not clean, it will turn colors. Oh, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
she's answering somebody.
Yeah.
Be it grease from a kitchen, grease, steam,
Anything. Ink.
can travel everything. Okay.
Yep. Like on one of these not one of these, one up front I finished, it was a little vanity.
Mm-hmm.
The drawers were just yucky. And I had asked a clerk to clean it. Well, I'm sure I didn't tell her to clean the inside of the drawers, and I just started slapping the paint on the inside.
Dang.
And there was some kind of ink. I mean, immediately you just got to stop, right? So then I cleaned it. I put liquid wax matte, and then I put a coat of paint because I was a real light color, like a lilac. It was wisteria, and that whatever. There was like ink that had spilled down in the drawer, and once I get that paint, which was water, it just popped that ink right off. That was my fault, but it will bleed.
She says it's something lace, and she goes in a hairbrush.
No, not a natural. With one step, you want to use a nylon brush. There it is. So I call them natural hair brushes, right? Your chalk paints can be put on with natural hair brushes, but for the one step, you want to I use a Klingon, but again, there's other good brushes. Wooster has one that's a 2-inch brush that's like $9 or $10 that you can pick up. I actually saw them on the website too. They're just like a nylon brush. It's going to help lay that down without pulling it off. Those natural hair brushes are too coarse, and they just pull the paint.
That makes a lot of sense now for me. Okay.
So I got to know all the questions before I can answer.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking for.
So what would you use for a primer?
I had sent it.
I used the new Surface. It is a primer. It comes in light brown and white, and I hope to have dark brown back tomorrow.
It's the new Surface.
Gosh, whoop, whoop. That's my favorite. It's my favorite. The dark is my favorite.
Okay, here's another one. What would she use for outdoor items? Wood and ceramic.
I would use the one step, and then I would seal it.
So the one step.
And then I just put another. I put a sealer right on top. You can use the chalk paint. I would just then do a couple coats of the sealer in the new Surface, to really give it something really hard and good to grab. I got it for you. Because it looks like my Audrey Hepburn.
And then she said the cigar boxes are super dark. Hold on. Wood from Colombia.
I would probably put to use less paint, because new Surface is quite a bit less expensive. I would just do a thin coat of new Surface. And then you're going to get away with a good brush, 2 coats max.
Okay, and then somebody said, does it have a AM expired date?
As long as you keep your paint sealed and in a environment, not like in the garage, like in a climate controlled environment, they will last a really long time. But you got to keep them sealed up. Sometimes if I know I'm not going to be using that color for a while, I've heard people take like a piece of that press and seal and then put the lid on it so it gets a good airtight back again.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I use too much paint.
Me too. I feel like I've got like a dot on my head. I don't know. So are there more questions? Guys, this is so exciting. Do y'all know how lucky we are to have this opportunity? I'm excited to get into the mixology of this product.
Will glue repel your paints?
Wood glue will repel.
A wood glue will?
Yeah, like a wood glue. Yes. Or I guess I've never tried it with Elmer's, but it's not going, definitely stains. If you were going to stain something and you had to wood glue it back together, you want to make sure you get that wood glue off. And if you're not going to put a primer on, then I would you want to make sure you get that glue off. Because it's just going to, that glue's then gone down into the pores and kind of given,
Gotta take it off.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to take it off to get.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what are good brushes to use for furniture?
Again, we do sell the Klingons. I love them. The F40, the S50, and the S30 are my favorite brushes. There's a smaller, so there's F40, an F30, and an F50. So depending, my old wrists, And that F50, it's just it's a little
heavy?
It's a little heavier for me just because I've painted so many years and
Yeah.
I was a bookkeeper years ago. I could do those keys, and it just your carpal tunnel in your wrist. So the F40 is good for me, but there is a smaller and then there is a bigger if you want it a little bit bigger. But they are amazing brushes.
It's on your site.
And then the Escada there's a 1, 2, and a 3-inch Escada. They're white hair brushes. They're the nylon, but they're white. I don't know if I have one on me somewhere over here. And they hands down leave the least brush strokes. This one's not white anymore because I've used it too many times.
Yeah.
But they do leave the least brush strokes. Klingons are going to be your next.
Okay.
To me,
what is that?
There's the Escadas. The Escada that comes in a 1, 2, and a 3-inch.
They say that is awesome, and they said thank you so much, Stephanie.
Welcome.
Okay, talk to us about.
Okay, I have one more. Can get real quick.
Okay, yeah.
How does the paint go on Formica cabinets?
So I have a piece up front that I'll have it back here next week. Just a piece of Formica that I picked up at like a hardware store where somebody had just there was an extra piece and we took it and cut it up. But you just new surface and that gives the paint something to grab. And then you could paint a metallic. If you want a solid color, you could, any of the paints will work. The chalk, on there, the chalk paint, the plaster paint, the one step or the metallic. Or then you can take a sponge and use 2 or 3 different metallics and kind of give it that marbled look.
They said that, how do you spell the name of the brush?
The Escada, it is, isn't that terrible? It's they're under Restore. Let me see what they're under. I don't know if they're under Escada.
But it's in your thing.
And it's type in Restore.
All you have to do is type in Restore on her.
On my link.
On the link. When you go to that link, it'll pull all that up. It says, do you have your paints in 1 ounce sample starter kit?
We have a 2 ounce starter kit and a 4 ounce starter kit, not a 1 ounce starter kit. But it's something, if you guys want them, it's something we can do. My dad hates me for that.
Sorry, Dad.
All those little bitty ones.
Poor guy. He's the sweetest thing ever.
He thinks I should get rid of all
and he
of them.
looks really young. And she's got her parents. They're both beautiful people, inside and out. And I'm like, you got good genes, girl. You got some good genes. Okay, so what color? This is another question. What sassy color should we try to convince Stephanie? She doesn't want to do a pink, so we're gonna have to come up with another sassy color.
You like them blues, but she's got a lot of blues.
She does already have a lot of blues. We need to come up with something just so out there and different. Stephanie's like, great. What color?
Pinks to me are just your hardest to paint with. So sweet cream is probably sweet cream 1 step is probably the easiest color. Sometimes I can get it in 1 coat. Sweet cream,
feel that way about it.
Cashmere, ivory lace. Sometimes I think it's just that wood was so dark, and she was using the wrong brush. So that's a big difference. But there's a few of them literally I can get in 1 coat, and pink is not it for me on the 1 coater, and that's why I don't have the patience. I'm just want to get it done, get it to the floor.
It's possibly. I would say it's also a really popular color.
It is. It is just a harder color to work with. You're really deep because you got to think how much colorant has to go into that to get to that color, and it pinks and really deep purples and really deep blues are tough. You know what I mean? You can do it. They're just tougher.
They said I got the liquid matte in the black container, and I can never get it open after closing it. What would you recommend doing when you're closing it? Boom, boom.
The liquid matte.
It's the edge.
It's the edge. Clean the edge real good, and then put Vaseline around the outside of it, and it'll screw on and off. But if you're like me, I bang mine open.
I've had somebody say they couldn't get it off from the very beginning. We have to. It's not a vacuum seal. It's when you go and you get your shampoo, and it has that little seal that you peel off because.
Well, first of all, you don't want it to leak in shipping.
That's the whole purpose right there is leaking and shipping. That and the water-based stains. There's a few of them that we use that machine on. You have to put the lids on and
but anything that you use that
I did not know that.
You can rub Vaseline on the outside of the jar.
That's what we need to do.
Just be careful, like when you're,
And
you should never use out of your jar. Everybody knows that, right, Beth? You should never just like take your jar and use out of your jar. Well, the only reason I would say, especially if you put Vaseline on the edge, you just wouldn't want to get, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, you really, just because you've then contaminated your jar.
True.
I mean,
and you may not get the thing, but yeah, I do use that.
If it's a 1 ounce,
I don't put Vaseline around mine. Mine are crusty, and I just do this and open them. But if you want to be diligent and keep it Vaseline, you know, I mean, look, you're not going to be gooping it.
I wonder if you put press and seal and then put your lid.
Oh.
Somebody's gonna have to try it for us.
Press and seal. That's a good idea.
Instead of the Vaseline, just so then it would, if it was gonna stick, it's gonna stick to the press and seal, and then you could maybe get it back off. But
she's talking about press and seal from the, like, in the, you know, plastic bag
saran
stuff,
wrap,
like saran wrap.
But I'm with her. I just bang mine.
I just bang mine open, and
I do, and then she freaks out.
Well, it scares me because I'm not expecting it sometimes. I expect it out of myself. I don't expect it out of other people.
Okay, so it says, will it peel off the countertop?
Not if you seal it and let it set it 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, depending on if it's a bathroom you use, let's say every day, I would probably reseal every 12 months. And if it's a bathroom you use occasionally for guests, I would say every 18 to 24.
Okay.
I think that's awesome. I wish Stephanie
and
had.
It's got to get at the drain. The drain's your killer. If your drain's not dry, it will kill at the drain.
It's got to be extra clean
and dry. And I always just say before you do it, like if you have like one of those box fans, I just lay that box fan like right on top and that just blow into that drain to get that drain just good and dry.
Stephanie had a claw tub, maybe 8 months ago or something. The most gorgeous claw tub you've ever seen. She bought it for her twins to have a photo wall, a picture. And I wish, that was so, I'm sure Brad had lots of choice words over that because it was so heavy, even though she sold it very quickly, I think. But I'm just thinking how fun that would be. I wish we had, maybe, because we're not going to pick up a toilet on the side of the road. On Big Trash Day, I could get us lots of toilets. We're not going to paint a toilet, but maybe I could find us an old sink or something.
Yeah.
And then we could paint a sink.
There's actually, the old owner painted a claw tub and they took it to a show and she's actually sitting in the claw tub bathtub. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Somebody said, how many paints come in your starter kit?
7. You get to choose, I think it's 4 paints, 2 sealants, and an other, something like that. And so the other is like Fabric Magic, New Surface. The sealants can be liquid wax. It can be the superior waxes. It can be paste wax. It can be your colored waxes, and then your glazes. And then you get your paints.
But that doesn't include metallics?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does.
For the paints, I think you can pick 3. The first 3 can be metallic, and then the 4th has to be a paint.
Okay.
Either one step or.
That is a great deal because, guys, I cannot stress to you enough how much projects. In fact, I've actually said this to Stephanie. You should not be selling these like this because people can get too much out of one little jar of paint. You need to not sell these small ones because they can get too much out of them. They need to be getting the bigger ones. But, and her dad was probably on my side because he doesn't like to pour the 1 ounce. But anyway.
But you can get a lot. I mean,
you can get out of you can do a lot of projects.
2 or 3 picture frames, 8 by 10 picture frames out of a 1 ounce.
I'm taking the questions and I finally try and get down to the bottom and Carol says, Beth missed painting 101, LOL, but we love her anyway. You was dipping in the thing.
Oh,
dipping into what thing?
The paint jar. She said that
we hadn't talked about. We hadn't talked about that one yet.
Oh,
okay. I hadn't told her yet.
Okay, it says
it's okay. Everybody does it. I'm just saying if you're gonna paint a project and then
no, but I'm not a painter. I've told y'all how many times did I tell you I'm not a painter? And she says, keep painting every day and you'll become a painter. And she's right. The more you do it, the better at it you get.
That's how.
But apparently, we're supposed to use the paint and something else.
Well, I ain't got time for that. And I use too much paint as it is. If I did that, I would
She doesn't. Then she'd be slumping it back in.
I'd be wasting so much stuff. And so, yeah, I'm not doing that right. So don't do as I do as I say.
That's it.
Like your mother, would tell you, don't do as I do as I say.
And if you're going to use it up quickly,
I go through a lot of paint.
Right?
My paint does not go bad. I use it fast.
Yeah.
So.
They want to know how much the starter kit is.
I think they're 30 and 54 for the 4-ounce off the top of my head.
And it'll be on her website.
Yeah, I think it's like
if you want to go
$29.95 and then $54.90.
Make sure you click my link and you use Crafty as the coupon code. Yes. I don't know if that goes toward that. But.
Yep. Yes, if you go to her on Beth's, she has it for, what is it, Crafty?
Crafty is my coupon code on my link. And I think Brooke maybe put the link in. I don't know if she did or not. Yeah, she did,
I think so.
Thank you, Brooke, for putting the link.
And it says, do you need retailers? If so, I'd like the info.
Yep. Just email me at it's the full name, the Plaster Paint Company @gmail.com, and I'll send you retailer information.
Do you have a business?
Yeah.
Who is asking that?
It is Janet Sinclair. I don't even want to mess with that name because I'll mess that.
So you have a business, Janet?
I mean, that's how I started, in just a booth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and make sure you mention the Crafty Edge.
Yeah.
Okay. They said
anybody that has a business, she's constantly looking for. We've been talking about this a lot lately. If you have a business and you want to be a retailer or an /affiliate, please contact me or go straight to Stephanie and make sure let her know that you heard this on the Crafty Edge, so that we can get this built, because she's really working hard to build her business, and this paint is phenomenal. I promise you, I don't do things I don't believe in, and if I didn't love it, no matter how much I love her, and I do love her very, very much, I would not be being a part of this. But this is kind of taken on its own journey, and it's been a phenomenal process for really both of us. It's been really pretty, and we really pretty. I'm not sure that's the right word, but it's been a great journey because we have been able to put it out into the crafting community, and it hasn't been there. And so the opportunities and the exposure that we're getting has just been really amazing.
Yeah, we always targeted before, furniture painters and cabinet painters and things like that. And when she started doing the crafts, I was like, okay, we'll, venture into what do you got to lose? So, it's
okay. So
great audience.
What is the right temperature to store the paint?
Just room temperature is fine. Just, if whatever your house is running on.
As long as it ain't.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Right? We all know that I've got.
You don't want it to freeze. That's the big thing.
No freezing.
And you cannot, you don't want the liquid wax to get cold at all, right?
Well, just room temperature.
All of it. Okay, so here's my question. I have a warehouse now. Whoop, whoop. I haven't got all the details. we've got, it's done. It's all agreed that we're doing it. It's just logistics at this point.
Yay.
And, but it has no air conditioning. So it has it's got we have fans, and we have the units that you can stick in, but it's 600 square feet. My question is, if I bought a little fridge and I kept it on the lowest setting, could I keep because I want to paint big furniture in there, not big furniture, but like my coffee tables.
Let me look into it and see
okay.
Because there is a range of where you should keep it. I just don't know that off the top of my head.
And I don't know how hot it gets in there. I don't know what the situation is. But I don't want to have to drive my paints to and from. So that's just something I want to know about.
This is the lady that was from UK, but she says, if you found businesses in UK, you would make a fortune. We don't have a lot of chalk paint choice in the UK.
Really? Well, send us out some information on some. We'd love to talk about it and know about it.
Yeah. It's always something where we actually have 2 franchises in the United States. So Arkansas and Kansas, actually, we taught them how to produce, and they know just like if you bought it here, just like if you bought it there, it's the same product, just like a Starbucks, right? So you go to get your caramel macchiato. Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't drink Starbucks. I'm a Diet Coke girl. So, if you go to get them, you want the same thing, whether you go to the Starbucks in Oklahoma or you go to the Starbucks in New York. So.
Well, the standard is set, and you want to maintain that integrity. So, well, you know, we would love to come. Stephanie and I would love to take a vacation to Europe and talk to somebody
do it.
about it. Brad's like, what in the heck is going on? Sorry, Brad. Next trip maybe. But no, I do know a couple people over there that I might could reach out to about that actually. So
just set them up as like a franchise.
Yes, I will.
Because shipping, I mean, like cold months and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a really good connection.
Lori Ramirez says, I have had a lot of paint companies turn me down as an ambassador or an affiliate just because she belonged to CC. I think it's that Chocator is what she's talking about. So does that...
There are no contracts with Stephanie. That's one of the...
I mean, if
there are rules.
There's rules. And so like as a retailer, I'm never going to, I mean, as long as you're doing your part and, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you sell more paint some months than you sell other months. I'm not saying you have to buy a certain amount every month, but you've got to be buying to keep your colors in stock and things like that. I'm not going to put a paint shop right next door to you. That's not going to happen, right? But I think 50 or 60 miles is a little too far.
Well, like she is a creator, so she would want to sell it on her as she uses it in her crafts.
Okay.
And wants to be the kind of like what I do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I'll tell you guys about this, and it's something that I'm noticing because I say we like it's really not we, it's Stephanie. I'm just a sideshow. But the thing that I notice is there are lots of people coming into doing this, and we've had quite a few of a really good influx of creators coming in, which we're thrilled about. But the reality is that you have to use the product to sell it. So I sell liquid matte wax like it is going out of style because I believe in it. I show you every single day in and day out. You see me use liquid wax. You see me use all these products, and I do decent for someone that's only been doing this for 3 months.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reality is the reason that I sell product is because I'm using product. Mm-hmm. So if you are interested in being an affiliate, I recommend don't invest in anything that you're doing that you want to put out into your consumer, your followers, the people that I love and that trust me, that are my friends and my extended family. I want to be able to give them a product that I can stand behind and know that no matter what, Stephanie's going to make right. If a product comes broken, if it's something, the shipping, I mean, look, we all know I suck at shipping. This one over here, she got the shipping down.
I mean,
girls.
Sometimes the website does mess up.
Well, life happens.
It does. Just say, hey, I think that it did this or did this. And,
but she makes things right. She is on top of her business and she handles her business. And I'm saying if you are a creator and you're going to sign up to be an affiliate, which we're thrilled about and we are encouraging and want, but don't do that and have access to liquid wax matte and all these things and still use Mod Podge to decoupage. If you want to sell a product, they're going to use what you're showing them to use. And first of all, make sure it's a quality product. Second of all, integrity. You all know that's important to me. I'm not going to sell something to you or tell you to buy something that I'm not using and that I don't 100% believe in. First of all, I don't have to do that. If I don't like it, I'm not going to use it. And that's just because y'all know that's just who I am. But the bottom line is if you're going to sell a product, and it doesn't matter what it is, you need to be using it and you need to be showing people what it can do. And I think when Stephanie decided that she wanted to collab, that was the biggest attraction for me, is that guys, we have not even scratched the surface of what this paint can. It is insane what this paint can do. It has a mixology, and I keep saying that, and I know we're going to get to it. Maybe next week we can really start covering the mixology. But you can take these products, if you have the right products in your possession, and create some of your own, make it your own and let it do the things you need it to do. It has so much potential, and just buying the basics is not as far as this paint will take you. It will take you so much further. And I'm thrilled to death personally just to get to know and get to learn all those things. Mm-hmm. So
I got two more. Well, there's a question. There's two questions that this lady has. Stephanie, her name's Stephanie. Wonder if a wine cooler could work to store the paints if a mini fridge wouldn't work.
Oh, that is a good idea.
And her other other things that I would love to know more about the paint. So maybe I'll tell her about every Tuesday. She'd go back and look.
Yeah, every Tuesday we have Paint 101. So this is our second class. And you can go back and rewatch these. They're on our YouTubes, on Stephanie's Plaster Paint Company. They're on the Crafty Edge. They're on all those places. And again, don't forget to go follow all of us. Guys, we're really close to 16K, and we would really love to hit 16K quick. And Stephanie's building her page. I know she's got 20,000+, I think. Yep. So those 20,000+ could just come on over to the Crafty Edge and push the button, follow button. I'd be
16 go the other way.
Yeah, let's share. We're gonna flip flop. So all my 16 go follow Stephanie, and all Stephanie's 20 come follow me. We're sharing is caring.
That's right.
Anyway,
but, any questions you have, definitely. Again, it's the Plaster Paint Company at gmail.com. You can send me. I may not be, sometimes I'll sit at night and do that too, but just depending on what's going on in my world.
Well, she does have a business.
We're going to be going out of town.
She's leaving to go to Louisiana, and then you're going to LA?
To LA.
What are you doing in LA?
It's top secret, but we're going to kind of be, pretend movie stars.
Oh, how fun. And I wasn't invited. I am a real movie star. Did she not know that?
We just can't talk about it. Maybe confidentiality.
Confidentiality. Never mind. She's not going to LA. She's going to Louisiana, though, to meet up with Phyllis, our iFlex queen. I'm super excited about getting her and Stephanie together because I think that the two will marry and be a beautiful, flawless combo.
I did my iFlex video, but I haven't posted it yet.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah.
It's just amazing how it takes things from one.
I didn't heat it up quite quick enough when I went to unroll it.
Oh, that's tricky. That trim is tricky. Did you have to pick the hardest thing?
Well, I didn't use it. I just wanted to show everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get it too hot, so
because it can burn.
Oh, it can.
Yeah, it's wood.
Well, it catch on fire. Well, I didn't catch it on fire, but I did break it.
Oh, well, it's easy fix.
So I didn't hear. Does anyone in Washington State sell plaster paint?
If you go again to the website, it's got a find a store on it, and all the stores are listed there.
But if you go to the Crafty Edge and use the link, you get a coupon code called Crafty, and you get a discount, 5% off. So if you're wanting to just order it, you're going to get a better deal going through my link, and the shipping is insanely fast. So just go to the Crafty Edge.
Any retailers are listed on the website.
And they wanted your website again.
It's www.theplasterpaintco.com.
There you go. Any more questions? Any more recommendations? Is there anything y'all really want us to do? And we're going to do this every Tuesday. So
we'll do chipping. We can do chipping next week. We can do it with the salt wash. We can do it with the sander and the wet distress look and stuff. So yeah.
They wanted to know if you came up with the paint yourself.
Nope. We the founder was just kind of her time to move on with her family, and so we bought the company from her. We have expanded the line since then, but it all began in her garage, and it has evolved to this.
And Stephanie was this is not what she really started out doing. So she had twins, and I think she told y'all last week she just needed to be home with those babies. And so she started popping out the furniture, babies and furniture, and bam. Now she has Stephanie's Vintique in Bethany, Oklahoma, which we should add that page too.
It is on there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Stephanie's Vintique. It is a vintage store with booths. And I actually have a booth in here for now. And not that I don't want to always have a booth in here, but guys, I am so thin. I'm thin. Spread so thin. But I do love this place so much. And there's such great stuff here. Stephanie finds the best stuff. Brad is like the king of finding and getting deals. Yeah. He's a deal machine. And he's brilliant. He really has they do have a really brilliant business minds, both of them.
Yeah, two more for you real quick. One says, what is the product you use to decoupage? It's that
liquid wax matte.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is my favorite. It's my go-to product for decoupaging.
The next one is the paint acrylic or chalk?
The plaster paint is a chalk-based additive paint, and the one step is a water-based paint. None of it's acrylic.
And they also want you to, if you would tell them again, they said about the 2-ounce kits. items that you get in there?
You get 7 items. I know one is an other, which is Fabric Magic, New Surface, those kind of items. And then I think 2 are sealers. So you can pick the liquid sealants or the paste wax or the aging waxes. And then you get 4 paints. I think 3 can be metallics and then 1. I mean, you can't pick 4 metallics, but you can pick 3 metallics and a 1-step, or a 1-step, a plaster paint, a metallic, and then another metallic, or whatever, however you want to break it up.
Do they send instructions with the starter kits?
I always try to send some, I'm getting everybody who boxes them up. I always try to send a brochure. So you should get a brochure. If not, you can always add that to because I am going to be out of the shop a little bit. Just add it to make sure, can you please throw me in a brochure? There's a type to place notes.
It came with one.
Okay, see? Yeah. I try. I say we're not perfect.
They're pretty close, though. They do a good job.
You do really good. Okay. That was all we had.
Okay, guys, don't forget to send us your request for what you want to see and what you want to learn. This is going to just be an ongoing thing. This is not just, we don't, there's no time ending and there's no nothing. If I can get my, business together today, I've got my iPad, I had to go back, it never ends.
If you become a consultant to sell, do you need to have training?
We have, we used to have 2 conventions a year, and then COVID kind of messed that up. But if you can come to me, I will spend an entire day with you.
Awesome.
An entire day. You just we have to put it on the schedule, plan it out, and then you literally come here and I can take you through it all as long as you can get here. And then we use, again, hopefully when COVID, now it's starting to lift, but then you never know. We used to do 2 conventions a year where you would come in. It was a small fee. And literally we paint for 2 days. And I have people come in and do techniques. We have inspirational speakers.
That's awesome. I didn't know all
that.
that.
Do they just keep looking back at your site to see if that happens? Or
if you're a retailer, you'll know.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you do have to have a business account.
There's a private page.
Okay.
And you have to have a business, like I said, your LLC.
Well, no, you wouldn't have to have an LLC, but you would just need to have a booth in a vintage mall. I mean, we have them in hair salons. I mean, you name it. Not beauty. Floral places. They want to expand and have something besides just floral. They have the paint lines,
or be a creator, have a business page.
Yep.
So, but you do have to have a tax ID to sign up.
Yes,
you do have to have the tax ID.
Again, if they go through you, they get a discount if they use Crafty.
The Crafty Edge, and the link, then they use the Crafty.
And then Vicki Nestor said, "Thank you for doing this."
Oh, we love you, Vicki. Thank you for being here, guys. We will see you again next week.
Absolutely.
She
drags me to the lives.
she needs to. She's got so much.
Great. Yeah.
And really, one of these times we'll walk through. I do that often with you guys. I walk you through. I go live when I'm doing my booths. So I walk you through the store. So y'all have seen Stephanie's store many, many times. Stephanie, I've showed you the outside that did you have her to have that painted, or did you do it?
You can look him up. It's Bob Palmer. He's actually lives here in Bethany, but he's painted murals all over the United States and actually a few overseas.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's the one with the car on the outside. It's really cool. Cute. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess that's everything. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And have a great trip.
We'll see you next week.
And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.